jail. And this same judge is the one you may remember who gagged Paul Manafort and told his team to knock it off with their press conferences outside the courthouse, saying the trial was not a public relations campaign. And then when Manafort was busted for something worse than talking about the case, the guy was busted for talking about the case to witnesses, the same judge cracked down.
Paul Manafort's arrival at federal court in Washington was one of his last moments as a free man after Mueller's prosecutors charged him with trying to influence witnesses who might be called to testify.
She explains why she's going to put the president's campaign chairman in jail. And the judge says, I've wrestled with this. What conditions could there be? This is not middle school. I can't take his cell phone.
The judge couldn't take his cell phone, so she took his freedom. You may recall, Paul Manafort's been incarcerated ever since. So that's how we know Stone is more likely to be jailed. Now, how do we know tonight this is his fault? Because Roger Stone played himself. More specifically, he played himself on social media, on the gram. And the context here matters. Not everything a defendant says before trial risks jail. Stone had argued a gag order was actually unfair to someone who made his money communicating.
I make a living writing and speaking about politics. I would hope that the court would take that into consideration.
They would be depriving me of making a living if I am entirely gagged.
I need to be able to raise the money to mount a defense.
That sounds reasonable, and during that time, on this very show, we reported on how that could be a decent argument. I showed cases Stone could cite for defending his free speech, but Stone's conduct now has made it harder to invoke those cases or defend him. Even Roger Stone, in fact, didn't defend Roger Stone at that last hearing, the final warning hearing. He said to the court his Instagram post attacking the judge was indefensible, and he was responsible. And that he also deflected onto a group of unnamed volunteers who helped him, I guess, with his Instagram. He claimed he couldn't remember who was involved in that just days earlier. We also know this is Stone's fault because he's been attacking Mueller in the case in media appearances across television, using his very own indictment for a huge media blitz and leaking his own security footage, which showed the Mueller arrest, in order to then go back on TV to attack it all again.
To storm my house with a greater force than was used to take down bin Laden, it's unconscionable. This was an egregious overreach by Mr. Mueller.
These are Gestapo tech.
Look, they treated me like El Chapo.
Now, you may know already those claims are false. But legally, Stone's problem isn't even lying about the case. It's talking about the case at all. Even true statements can violate the current gag order. And while Stone may not be able to control himself, to help himself, to stop, this judge can jail him next week, all because he keeps posting these attacks on Instagram, a sort of clumsy, criminal, wannabe gangster version of what the kids these days call